Global Times, 17th of October 2022, Leadership from Xi, How His Response Letters Reassured China's Allies Abroad. Chinese people consider letters to be worth as much as gold. For thousands of years, letters convey feelings, friendship, and expectations between writers across mountains and oceans. The Chinese President and General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC, Central Committee, Xi Jinping, has found time during the past 10 years, despite a demanding work schedule, to respond to a few letters from ordinary people. As part of a long list of fascinating tales about China's global interactions in the new era, Xi has also communicated with people from all walks of life abroad via letters on multiple occasions. The letters enriched the correspondence between China and other nations over the past 10 years. He responded to the offspring of the foreign allies who helped build and support China's revolution, whose achievements are still greatly valued in China today. He responded to international students studying in Chinese institutions, whom he urged to discover China and tell others about it. He also responded to elementary school kids who were gaining access to Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) projects and were eager to visit China someday. The Global Times reporters tracked down and made contact with a number of the recipients of Xi's letters in the months leading up to the 20th CPC National Congress to learn the moving tales that the notes and their contents were inspired by. In the courtyard of a Beijing hutong, Zhou Yuma, the son of George Hatem, the first foreigner to be granted Chinese citizenship and join the CPC, expressed his pride in his father's decision to advance alongside the CPC and the Chinese people, and his profound emotion at the Chinese state leader's remembrance of the foreign friends who made significant contributions to China's development. An American professor committed to sharing the real story about China with the world is still in shock after receiving a reply letter from Xi. He recalls that about 500 congratulatory messages diluted his phone shortly after. This takes place inside the lovely campus of Xiamen University in East China's Fujian province. In a phone conversation lasting an hour, an Italian student at Peking University who is fluent in Putonghua and has a strong Beijing accent shared his memories of growing up in China and how Xi's response to their letters has strengthened his resolve to remain in the nation so that he can see its continued growth and prosperity. Upon receiving a letter from Xi, the retired principal of a primary school in a Lao village with the word China in its name could not contain her joy and pride. She recalled how the BRI projects had significantly improved the livelihoods of the locals and wished that the long-standing friendship between the two neighbors would endure. Contrary to common belief, letters carry significantly more weight. It can depict the history of an entire country in addition to that of an individual, family, or group of people. We'll share a few stories on how Xi's responses have boosted China's allies abroad in 2 parts that will be published. It all starts with this chapter. In my opinion, the CPC has successfully upheld its initial goal of promoting the welfare of the populace. The first foreigner to be given Chinese citizenship, Zhou Yuma, joined the CPC. He is the son of George Hatem. On September 14, 2021, Xi responded to a letter from the relatives of a few international friends, including Edgar and Helen Snow, George Hatem, Riwi Ali, and Israel Epstein. In his response, Xi paid homage to the said friends who had stood and fought alongside the CPC and the Chinese people through thick and thin and had made priceless contributions to China's revolution, construction, and reform. Asserting their vital contributions to China's revolution, construction, and reform, as well as their sincere friendship with the CPC and the Chinese people, Xi said China has always remembered them and would always honor their memories. 16 families of distant friends wrote a letter to Xi in August 2021 and sent it. They expressed pride that their relatives had chosen to support the CPC and the Chinese people in the letter, and are prepared to continue the spirit of internationalism in the new era under the initiative's direction to create a human community with a shared future and to make further contributions to fostering friendships between Chinese and foreigners and assisting China in achieving its second centenary goal. The reply letter from Xi has warmed and inspired me to strengthen the friendship between the Chinese people and the people of the world and create a more appealing image of China and the CPC. I will always follow my father's lead in actively promoting the spirit of internationalism. I will also work with friends from other countries to further this goal. The efforts we are making to improve our bilateral relations have been encouraged by President Xi. Our family found it to be a fascinating time. That connection should endure, I hope. The Helen Foster Snow Foundation's president, Adam Foster. Great-uncle Adam Foster's name was Helen Foster Snow. Adam Foster informed the Global Times that the Foster family signed a letter addressed to President Xi. They expressed gratitude to the Chinese people for their actions in honoring Helen and preserving her memory. On January 27, 2022, Xi replied to Foster's letter, pointing out that Edgar and Helen Snow actively supported the Chinese Gonghe, Gung-ho, movement of industrial cooperatives and were instrumental in establishing the Shandong Paley School in Gansu Province, China. The Snows, among other foreign friends, contributed to China's revolution and construction, and the Chinese people are aware of their genuine friendship with the CPC and the Chinese people, he continued. He indicated in the interview his hope that Foster and the Foundation will carry on the Snows' legacy and make new contributions to fostering friendship and cooperation between Chinese and Americans. The state's chief of staff responding to my letter moved me. It touched me, and at the same time, it made me realize that I now have even more responsibility as a foreign expert. A Russian specialist at the Foreign Languages Press named Timofey Bakhvalov. In his letter of response to the foreign experts published by the Foreign Languages Press in August of this year, Xi urged the experts to make more significant contributions to the development of international relations and communication between China and other nations to create a community with a shared future for humanity. Foreign language experts Burkhard Riss from Germany, a German expert at the Foreign Languages Press since 2020, and David Ferguson from the UK, an English expert, explained to the Global Times that they wanted to write to Xi to tell him about their work and to express their gratitude for the opportunity to contribute to spreading China's message to the rest of the world. The translation of Xi Jinping, The Governance of China has included the participation of numerous foreign scholars. In my letter, I expressed my optimism about China's future to President Xi. I'm more willing than ever to follow China's development and reveal what genuine China will look like in the coming decades, having grown even more self-assured. At Xiamen University, William N. Brown teaches business. As Brown told the Global Times, I feel content, joyful, and glad to be witnessing China's development and changes and sharing them with the world. In a response letter addressed to Brown on February 1 of this year, Xi praised the professor for his 30 years of service to China's educational cause and expressed his admiration for Brown's ardent love for Xiamen and the nation as a whole. You have portrayed Xiamen and Fujian province and provided the world with a realistic portrayal of China as an observer of China's reform and opening up. In his letter, Xi reportedly stated, I greatly appreciate your attitude of integrating into the Chinese community. After receiving Brown's book Off the Wall, How We Fell for China, an anthology of about 50 letters he wrote to his family and friends in the U.S. while living in China, Xi responded. These letters describe his life in China. President Xi's ability to respond to me, a regular foreign teacher and state leader with such immense responsibility, surprised and honored me. According to Brown, he anticipates telling many more fantastic Chinese tales in the future.